97.5, home to the morning hustle. Ayeeedubb is to IV, and I have another very special guest in the building with me this week. Give it up for Pat Jr. What's going on?
What's going on?
How you doing? How you living?
I'm doing decent. I'm doing solid. Some things that happened recently in my life, but overall, I'm glad that I'm alive and I'm well, and we here. I'm chilling with the homie right now. You know what I'm saying? So
it's any regular day. We just chilling, we talking, we vibing.
Absolutely.
Good energy. We're not gonna focus on what happened last week, the week before, the month before. We on a whole new page, right?
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about too, because of course, some people who come on here is my first time meeting them, and others is like we talked yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but we have a lot to talk to you about as an artist.
Yeah.
But real quick, for those who may not know who Pat Jr. is, where are you from?
So this is North Carolina's home, but you know, I'm originally from New York. My family's from up north. I lived in Maryland for a short while, but I've been here for most of my life in North Carolina. I went to North Carolina Central University, Eagles, you know what I'm saying? Fly high, you feel me? Eagle pride. But yeah, I graduated there undergrad, and yeah, I moved to Raleigh with my wife, and so I've been in Raleigh for some time now. So North Carolina's home, but originally I'm from up north. I'm from New York.
So do you like it down south? Do you miss up north? Like, there's that whole debate of north versus south. So I got to get what you think about it.
I enjoy being in the city, but I don't see myself living in like a big city, at least right now. And that's just because like I remember in 2019 when me and my homie JP went to LA, like LA is nice. Like just the atmosphere. We was in East Hollywood. Like I just wanted to explore, and I just wanted to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? And here it's like I wanted to work. I would say work and play, but here I can relax. You know, it's just chill. It's laid back. You know what I mean? Like it's home. So I don't see myself living in a bigger city right now, but I love it here. But I've been home. Home has changed. Gentrification is real.
Very real. Hello. Sorry, it's real.
Right.
So.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, if I want to keep it 100, like, honest to God truth, home is where my wife is. So wherever my wife is, that's home. So if she want to go, it's home. But if she want to move up north, that's where home is gonna be.
Aww.
You know. So yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Is Tam blushing? Oh, she blushing. Okay. She's like, why is he saying this stuff? That's so cute. I love that. Well, and as part of this interview, we're going to be coughing a lot because it's allergy season.
Absolutely.
It's getting sick season, so we're going to try to push it through. But so you're doing all this moving around. You've been to a bunch of different places. I'm sure you've met a lot of different people.
Yeah.
How'd you start making music? I figured you have a lot of things to pull from, making music and sounds and things to talk about. So how'd that start?
So the earliest like memory I have of like writing lyrics and rapping is being in, I want to say middle school. And cause my mom, and I bragged about my mom, you came to the listening, you know, for my mixtape, and my mom put me on to all kinds of music. So hip hop, gospel, R&B, classical, everything, jazz, you know what I'm saying? So I have a very eclectic ear, but I remember when I was in middle school, I would take my mom's tape recorder, and I would take the tape recorder, and she had some tapes, and I wasn't even looking to see if they were blank. I just took them, right? And I had this, she bought me this 6-disc CD changer, and I remember getting like CDs from my homies at school with like instrumentals from whatever like mainstream beats were popular then, and I would literally put them in the disc changer, take the tape recorder, and I would literally like hold it to the boombox, the stereo, and record my raps like that way onto tape.
Okay. Okay. I'm picturing it. Okay.
So literally, I got the tape recorder and I'm holding it to the stereo. Him play on the stereo is playing and literally like recording it into the tape recorder. So that's how I would rap. That's how I record my raps. And she wouldn't be so upset about me because she was like, you taking my good tapes too. But she was just really intrigued and loved the fact that I was actually like writing and recording and expressing myself through way of, poetry, if you will, of rapping. So that's my earliest like memory of making music, but I've been around it. My whole family is just artistic overall. Like my aunt, she passed away some years ago, but she played piano and she used to paint too. My uncle, he was a drummer for like a popular gospel, like legendary gospel singer, songwriter, Timothy Wright. Like, so he, like, I've been surrounded around like art, like in my family. And then it wasn't until like, I want to say 2013, 14, I started making beats. And just trying it out, I went and got my master's in creative writing, and through that program, I got a Mac laptop. So that was the first Mac laptop I had. I was on Windows before, and then I got Mac, and I saw the light, and I never went back. But got the MacBook, Pro, whatever, and found GarageBand, and then I just started making beats from there. So. But I want to say like I have always been around something artistic or music centered, like whether it be the long trips with my mom up and down the highways, going to Maryland, going to New York and visiting family and listening to Michael Jackson and Kurt Franklin and NSYNC and all of that stuff on the highways, around family members, friends, or whatever the case is, or like figuring out how to make my own music until it became a professional thing, if you will. So yeah, like it's been a journey.
I love that because when you were talking about like it just started from like you recording the tapes and everything, and your mom wasn't mad about it.
Nah.
Well, at least she didn't show you that she was mad. I don't know, but it makes me feel like when other artistic or creative people have their situation, like what happened, it's either you can go the way of like family doesn't understand, they get mad about it, or you're luckily blessed with a family that comes with other creative people. They're like, okay, he got the creative bug, and it's not like a bad thing. So I'm always kind of like, I always wonder like, which route do artists come from? Because some people, like I said, don't have the support, and some do. So I like that it's been just music centered, like really your whole life.
It hasn't been 100% support in the journey.
Okay.
And I talked about this before, but I was at a church that wasn't a fan of hip hop music and got stood up in front of like 2,000 folk and rebuked because I was rapping.
Okay.
And so definitely a traumatic experience, but therapy, and just my tribe have helped me heal and, from those things. So it hasn't always been 100% support, but I will say my mom, out of everybody, before I got married, because now my wife is my number one fan, you know what I'm saying? But before her, my mama was my number one fan. And she always supported me in my music and creative endeavors. So it hasn't always been 100% support from the people that you think you would get support from, but coming from her, the one who introduced me to music, that's a blessing to always have mom support. So yeah.
Did you? I'm guessing you saw the Kanye documentary.
Yes, I did.
Is she kind of like that mom? How she was speaking life into Kanye? Because that's got to be.
I resonated with that part. Like that's how my mom was with me. I mean, she did suggest other routes, because rap was never. And I tell people this, I never wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to have an actual career in something, whether it be being a lawyer or a psychologist. I ended up saying, okay, I'm gonna be a teacher, right? Music was never at the forefront. I just was always a creative person. You know, I taught myself how to make beats. I taught a friend helped, teach me, or a friend he taught me / showed me / kind of gave me the foundation of recording myself. I taught myself how to film, shoot videos and edit videos. So I taught a lot. I'm very much so self-taught. But music was never the forefront. It just became a thing that over time, after, prayer and talking with, friends and all those things. And of course, getting laid off from like my 5th job within 7 years in 2016, it was like, okay, it's time to take this thing and go full time. You know what I'm saying? So, not to say that I never wanted to pursue music as a full-time career, but it was never like, oh, this gotta work. So,
well, no, I like that too. Then, it's interesting because some people, like, you get people that's just like, 40, 50, trying to just push the same album or single. But so I feel like you had success, no shade, but you've had success with from the I feel like the very beginning, from what I've seen and been seeing and researching and stuff.
Success is different for everybody. I mean, of course, through healing, I've allowed myself to have more ambitions because of the toxic culture, the toxic church culture I came from. I never really had huge ambitions for myself with my music. You know what I'm saying? I used to question, does God even really care? Like there's been conversations when it comes to sports, people, and this is because I am a man of faith, people will be like, well, I'm praying for my team to win. I don't care about what basketball team wins. Okay. But God does care about my creativity because he gave me the gifts. And I never really had high ambitions for my creativity until a few years ago, and I'm thankful for that. So, for me, am I successful now? Yes, I am. Do I want more success in certain areas? Absolutely. And so, yeah, it's always been something as if okay, if God, if this ain't what you want me to do, I will give me the heart for something else. That's fine. But if this is what you want me to do, then, because before music is family, and God is number one, family is number two. If my wife ain't taken care of, if my people ain't taken care of, then why am I doing this music thing? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I should be focused on taking care of them. So as long as this thing is taking care of that, mm-hmm. my family, then, we good. We gonna make it work. So
what would be what moment would have to happen? You're like, okay, this is the moment where I'm everything has paid off. This is the successful moment or the monumentous moment. What would be that for you where you're like, okay, this is it?
When I die.
Ooh.
There's a lyric on Fortune Field. I say R.I.P. ain't really peace if you still got potential. Mm-hmm. So how people say rest in peace. Is it really peace if you die with potential still left in you? So when I die, I want to be empty of everything that's been given to me. I want to do all the creative things, all the visions, all the stuff that I have before, I pass away. I want to be rid of all of them. So that's when I'm done, when I die. Mm-hmm. Of course, I don't know. Jay-Z is 50 something and he's still rapping.
Yeah.
But he's good. He's actually good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I'll more than likely be making music, but there's going to be other creative things that I'm going to be doing as well. I want to get into film at some point, writing film, maybe even directing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I'm just the focal point, the passion is in the music, but overall, I'm very much so just overall creative. So, yeah, when I die, that's when it's done.
I was expecting, Grammy, Drake feature, but dying? Okay, you can't compete with dying.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Love that. And I'm glad you brought up the videos and creative process because we got to talk about your social media.
Okay.
Because you have like just content for days and like, you know, it's well executed videos and the music videos and then like everything from like the freestyle videos. And we talked about it before of like when you added the lyrics to what you're saying and you even put what that means for people who are slow like me who may not catch it. Everything is like so just well thought of and like I can tell like it's from a creative like standpoint.
Yeah.
But so a couple things about the social media and content. A lot of artists sometimes don't touch social media and other artists do. How do you feel it for you? Like, is it more of just a creative outlet? Like, it is what it is, or do you look at it as like, oh, I need to get this out to keep my brand or something going? How do you look at it when you be making your content?
I think it's a balance of both. Overall, that's why I said when I die, because impact is the most important thing for me. Like I want to, you know, I want to win a Grammy. I want to win these, you know, get these different accolades, but those are just like resume builders to me. Like, at the epitome of them, you know, it's more influence, it's more money, you know, it's the pathway so that my kids can be great at what they do, but experience nepotism. I want that from my kids. You know what I'm saying? You gonna benefit off of nepotism, but you still gonna be good at what you do.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's a healthy balance of, yes, as an artist, social media is a very important part of an artist's career. I mean, at this point, like it's the way to promote, it's the way to get the word out about what you're doing. And it is an outlet for people to see what you're working on, obviously, but like, you know, it's not just a creative outlook for me or outlet for me. I'm always shooting for excellence, you know. The way you catch somebody's eye and you get their attention to even impact them is your stuff gotta be top tier. Like, it has to be high quality, or it just has to catch people's attention. When I say quality, I just don't mean like the quality of the visuals, because now we have people recording and rapping on their phones and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, social media or the overall audience has accepted that, which is totally fine. But is it being presented? Is it actually good? You know, is it catching people's attention? So, for me, it's just about making good art, man. Like, just making great art and, you know, and just impacting, you know, as many people as I can overall.
Do people around here, like other artists, do they come up to you for like advice on like how to create or like how to post, just on the social media part? Do you get that a lot?
Yes and no. Some people just copy.
Oh, period.
And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Oh, I've seen my copiers too now. The good get copied, okay? The good get copied.
I mean, how, like, at the same time, it's like, I don't encourage people to copy. Please, like, there's a song by a homie of mine, Jay Givens, and he talks about how other artists are just copying, like, one artist, like a carbon copy of another artist, right? And it's called Attack of the Clones. It's a Star Wars reference. So, like, I don't know if you're into Star Wars, but it's a Star Wars reference. It's called Attack of the Clones. But literally, that's what a lot of the industry is just carbon copying someone else. A good artist steals from many people. There's a book called Steal Like an Artist. And the author encourages you to, like, hey, find your own identity. But the way that you find your own identity is by taking from many different genres of art. So, like I have people that ask, you know what I'm saying? Now it's getting to a point where it's like, you're gonna have to pay me for my time.
Okay.
But some people just copy. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. What did Drake said? Imitation ain't flattery, is just annoying me. That's how I feel a little bit. That's how I feel a little bit. But I mean, on a surface level, it's easy. Like, I've seen people do the colorful backdrop, matching clothes, and they sit in front of it and rap. Like, right? Like, there's a bunch of people that have done that. So it's like, how can I change that up to make it more like me? Some people just do it and that's cool, but like, how can I'm looking at different things of like, okay, I saw Tyler the Creator do this in his performance. How can I learn from that and make it fit for my brand? You know? So I do think it is healthy to look at other artists and learn from them. But yeah, like some people do, some people don't. And, you know, I just want people to make great art. That's it.
Yeah, just keep being creative. Like if you got to do what you got to do,
be authentic.
Yeah, just put your own twist on it. Because I had heard from somebody else, like in like another radio station, where he was saying he doesn't look at other people because he doesn't want to get flooded with other people's ideas, and he got to legit create his own. I was like, I feel that too, but sometimes like a lot of my, I was telling Nance in our interview, I was like, a lot of my like promos and stuff, it be generic ideas, but I do got to twist them. I'm like, none of my ideas was like all mine. It's like I
gotta learn from
upgraded.
other people.
Yeah, so like it's interesting when people are like, I rather try create it myself, but also I'm getting deep now because now it's like I feel like we don't always create our own ideas because somehow, some way, we may have heard something real quick and we think it didn't inspire us.
Yeah,
I could go for days, but
absolutely nothing new is under the sun.
Yeah, but when you steal from Pat Jr., that's when you gotta get checked.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like when someone has a strong brand, like for example, I just
Come
have
on.
to use an example.
Come on.
Like if I hear you rapping, and I'm like, Drake, is that you? You know what I'm saying? Or if I see, like, if I know somebody has a specific style of branding in a way, like Tyler just has a unique style of branding. Tyler the Creator is one of my favorite artists, right? Stormzy, like just different artists whom I really love and respect. Like they have a unique way of branding, right? Like you can clearly see if somebody is stealing from that artist, like carbon copying them. It's a difference between being influenced and straight up copying. Like we don't encourage copying.
Right.
We want you to find your own identity and you know what I'm saying? Be influenced and create your own, formulate your own identity, your own identity. Yeah, because we need the real, the artist, like a message to the artist. We need the real you. We need the authentic, like we need your identity in the world and through the music. So at least that's how I feel.
Ooh, love that. I gotta add maybe applause somewhere because that was good. That was a good answer. But let's see. So okay, back to before we talked about off air, we had kind of mentioned like I kind of jokingly how I met you at Dreamville at the Cam.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was doing some interview with Beat Club at the time, and I was kind of like, we had never talked.
Yeah.
I don't know if you even knew who the hell I was, but I was kind of like, had to be like, excuse me, Pat, can I talk to you for a minute type thing. And then and you were saying that people kind of feel like that where. I guess if they look at you like you've made it already, or like you're one of the best in the 919 in this area, is it like a lot of pressure on you when people are like think that you're like so nice, like in a good way of like, oh, there's never gonna be a bad song, never a bad video. Is there pressure to like always keep that going type of thing, like that momentum?
Nah, I mean, I don't feel the pressure of that, and I know that might sound arrogant. I just don't feel that pressure. I used to, but when I started going back to how I was raised, like my mom has always encouraged me to put forth my best effort. Did I listen to her all the time? No, I didn't. Because when I figured out, because when I was in my undergrad, my freshman year, made the honor roll, bro. Killed it. My sophomore year, towards like the second semester, my second semester, sophomore year, junior year, I was coasting, bro. Because I figured out like, oh, this is not hard. I can miss a few classes. Tam was over there shaking. My wife was over there nodding her head because she was. Don't you got me in class? No. But I was always raised to put forth my best every time. It's me versus me. Like I know that rap is a competitive sport, and I understand that idea of it. I get that 100%. But I'm not competing. Like business-wise, you always are, but I'm not competing per se to be better than other people. It's me versus me. Like I'm learning and being inspired by other great writers and rappers and musicians, and it's always me versus me. I was watching what made me think about it. I was watching Creed, the movie, and there was a scene where Michael B. Jordan, him and Rocky were in the gym, and he stopped him from training and everything. Or no, I think it was before they started really training. He brought him in front of the mirror and had him shadow box with himself. And he was like, "That's your greatest enemy." And that sent chills down me. Like, I was like, "Ooh, that's good." Like, because when you in the ring, it's like when you're training, it's really you versus you. Like when you're in the ring, if you see it that way, you've been training that mindset. It's you versus you, because you are your greatest enemy. So like it's never pressure from other people to always put out my best work. I used to succumb to that pressure years ago, but like now it's just like I just want to put out my best, like every time. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm always pushing to put out my best. That's my mindset.
Well, some people have said that the Grill Talk mixtape was some of your best work that you've done.
That's been the common threads. Like, this is your best project to date. Yeah.
So we know we got to talk about that. So first of all, you had listening sessions for the Grill Talk mixtape, Volume 1, before you officially put it out October 4th.
Yes.
You put it out?
Yeah.
So listening session, you had two in Chicago and you had one in Raleigh that I may have been at or whatever. How was it after the session? We haven't really talked like a recap of it. How was it after all the sessions were done, the Raleigh session? Like, how were you feeling after all that?
Man,
how was it and stuff?
I mean, the love online has been crazy. Like, really, really dope. I even went out to because Little Brother had their 20th anniversary block party made in Durham, and I even went out there and people was like, "Yo, like this new project is crazy, bro. Like, just giving me love and showing, you know what I'm saying? Like, giving me my flowers." But overall, it's been so much love, like, from people online and even in person. But like, you know, when I released it online and I'm doing the rollout and we still rolling it out, like even now, it's just been consistent love. You know, my homie Kevin on stage, or should I say Kevin, who happens to be a famous comedian, right. He shouted me out, like, you know, like Fonte had shown me love, like even before it came out, like he was just hyped for me. Like it's just been nothing but love. Like I've been, like, the first week I told my wife and was telling other people and my team, like, I'm overwhelmed in a good way, because it was just like tweet after mention after Instagram story after, like, and people are still like getting around to it, because like that's why you have to keep, you know, promoting your stuff, because like that somebody might miss it. There's a ton of people who might miss it the first week. You know, so it's been great, man. I feel really, and that's been the common thread in the conversation, is that this is your best work to date, and this mixtape is like amazing. So it's love, man.
That's so good. I'm like proud and happy for you for like getting like all this love and like recognition. You. So definitely got to give you your flowers on that one.
Thank you.
And another thing is, like, I kept wanting to call it an album, because I felt like it was such an album quality. And then I went back and I listened to Gold Fangs on Sunday, which is an album.
Yes.
And I listened to a couple of songs like in preparation for this, and that was back 2021.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so from Gold Fangs on Sunday and into just Grill Talk Mixtape Volume 1, album versus mixtape in about 2 years.
Yeah.
What was like the difference in like creative mindset at the time between the two?
Ooh.
Like that you could like kind of say like what's different between the two? Like, because I like Grill Talk better. I feel like
absolutely.
Goldface has some hits that I like. I like the one with Deep End in it. I like that one a lot. So, what was like the difference that you would say as an artist and creative between those two?
I love and hate Goldface on Sunday.
Okay.
I love it because of the community that was brought around it. There is some musical things that I wanted to experiment with that I actually did. There's some things that I wanted to try for the first time. The expression on there was definitely, all my writing, my expression was great. Like, but musically, I tried to cater to the masses. Like, I was focused on, okay, I want to make and I want to say what I want to say, but I gotta cater it so that people will actually listen to it over and over again. Like, I was trying to force the, like, you know, the plays and the Spotify and all that stuff. Like, man, I need to make music that can land on the playlist. I need to make music. That's what I was trying to do. And so there are a few songs up there that I love, and there's some songs, and I'm not gonna say which ones. And there's some songs that I'm like, man, this is good sync music. You shouldn't have put this out. But I mean, some people, that's their favorite work from me. You know, like my homie AJ the Menace, that's his favorite project from me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But like, between then and now, it's just been a transformation of self. There's been I've been going to therapy. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of healing. There's been a lot of confidence that, you know, I've obtained. There's a new sense of confidence that I have about myself. And then for this project, like, I went into the mindset of like, I don't give a F about like what people want from me, like what sound is popular, right? I don't care about any of that. I'm just gonna make what I want to make. I'm gonna make what I'm feeling right now, like strictly, like. And so because I produce too, and which helps, I'm listening to samples. I'm listening to, like, I was on a heavy jazz kick around that time too, and I still am. But whatever was speaking to me is what I gravitated to make this project. And so it's very gritty, it's very confident, it's very talky-ish, like all that, you know what I'm saying? And so whatever beats that I was like getting from, my producer, my homies or whatever, and what I went into making, as I'm producing, like how I'm being inspired by other things, is like I made what I was feeling. And I think that's some of the last album, I can't say that. Yeah, some of it I was making how I was feeling. I was definitely writing how I was feeling for sure. But some of the last album I made how I feel. Some of it was like, I gotta make this play like repeatable. Like I gotta make it palatable for people to want to listen to it. And it's just like, for this one, I ain't care about none of that. Mm-hmm. I'm making how I feel right now. You know what I mean? But yeah, like that's the big difference between the two.
I think it's kind of interesting where like people are saying that Girl Talk mixtape is some of your best work, and this is the one like you had that of course care. You care about what you was doing, but you had that mentality of like,
I don't care about what anybody else like thinks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What they want from me. Mm. Yeah, like I think that's the most free, like the most like freeing feeling. And then for people to say, this is my favorite project from you, like out of all because there were some people there, it's like, I've heard everything you've made, like these like college kids or whatever from Wake Forest came out. Mm-hmm. And I found out at Hopscotch when I opened for Denzel, like they were saying like, this one girl came up to me and she was saying like, yeah, we're huge fans of you at Wake Forest Radio and Wake Radio, blah, blah, blah. So we play your music all the time. I'm like, yo, really? Mm-hmm. So I invited them to come out to the listening, and two of the guys came out from their radio station team, and he was just like, they were like, yo, like we've heard all of your stuff, and this is our favorite like Pat Jr. project.
Wow.
So it feels good to know that I made what I wanted to make from my heart, and that people are receiving it so well. Like, so yeah, feels good.
Well, that's good. But now it's like, okay, well, what's next?
Ooh.
I mean, because is it volume 2? Is it you gonna go to like a different brand, talk grill, I don't know, and switch it up or something? So what you got planned like next? What's the next step? Are you gonna chill the rest of this quarter, start back in January?
Nah, so
what you doing?
I have merch coming, and the merch game is strong, bro. It's strong. I was telling my wife and telling another homie, like, this is the most I've felt prepared for merch. Like, just a drop. Like, I've had merch in the past, but like I'm stacked for this one. Excuse me. So I feel good. I feel good about this particular like merch drop. You know what I'm saying? Also because like the brand, I've really found, not to say I've known my brand for some years now, but I refined it and did like, this is it. This is me. You know what I'm saying? So I got merch coming, definitely more Grill Talk freestyles coming. I'm not gonna say what's coming out next year.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be in Grill Talk mode for like a minute, you know, because that's just where I am right now in life. You know, it's not like, this is what people want from me. This is what people do love, those Grill Talk freestyles, and it's gonna be just a cool way for me to promote the project. So why not do them, you know? But I'm gonna be in Grill. I will say this. There is another Grill Talk mixtape in the works. I'm already like 25 beats in for the next one. That's not including, those are ones that I've made, not that other homies have sent me. So there's definitely another one coming. I can't say when, but I'm in Grill Talk mode, like, for a minute. I'm staying here because it feels good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, we're excited to see what you got coming up next. I'm always going to be, like, on alert to whatever you drop in, whatever contest you drop in.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't even peep that. You know, I was on Twitter. You had a whole contest
I had
you was
a whole
doing.
gold tape contest. Yeah, giveaway. Yeah.
You just so busy. You always on it, but I love it because I'm like, I can't get tired of whatever Pat Jr. posts because it's always gonna be something different, something unique, something innovative, and from one creative to another creative. You know, I appreciate it.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely. The feeling's mutual.
And I was about to say, like, Pat Jr., you could have been my first guest to really talk for an hour in an interview. Like, we hit in like 40 minutes.
Hey.
And I legit have maybe a couple more questions, but I'm like, I can't do it.
No, go ahead, please. No, come on, let's do it.
Maybe I have one or two more questions. Okay. Last question, if it's the last question. Was there a favorite moment that you had when creating Grill Talk mixtape, or like just either it could be like a recording session or working with somebody, but like just like a fond memory where you're like, it could be a bad one, a good one, just something that like stood out that was like something.
I would say one of my favorite, I got a few.
I can only imagine like when artists do create albums, like whatever goes on in these sessions.
Really pick.
Like,
I could talk. I'm gonna just start like ripping, like just start going through them. My session with 3 a.m. when we wrote Fortune Field, the synergy like that we had in studio, because we co-wrote the hook in studio, like right there, and he recorded it. It was fire. Like, it was quick too. I love the energy that he brings. You know what I'm saying? A lot of like, cause I made a lot of like the production myself, like making those beats, like that was just like a whole experience. Like, it was just great, you know, great feeling. The prayers that I would have before I started making anything, like I remember those moments, you know what I'm saying? When Kavase recorded his verse for Black Gold, like letting him hear it for the first time, and then he came back and he rapped it for me before he went in, and I was just like, yo, like, And that moment was really special too, because we had been talking about working together for a minute. Like, yeah, we gonna get one, and then finally the time came, and we, when I sent Dre, Rubio, and Ron, because they produced Sean, when I sent Dre the record, and his response back to me like, yo, this is crazy, like the way you talking on here, dog. Like it's just so many like cool moments. I can't really pinpoint one, and I think this is what I would say is like the top moment or moments for me. When I would play back the demos and sit and listen to this dude Pat Jr., this new Pat Jr. rapping, and be like, yo, like I'm sitting there listening like, who is this dude? Like, in a good way. It was very surreal. Like, I'm listening to myself, the way I'm rapping, the way I'm like, hold on now. Like, who is this dude? Like, in a good way. That was probably like the biggest moment or moments for me, was hearing those demos back and like being in awe of like not my skill, but the way I'm rapping now, like the way I'm communicating things. It's just like I'm sitting here listening to the growth, you know? It's almost like I'm a huge fan of movies and shows that deal with the theory of time and space. So like Back to the Future, I don't know, Back to the Future, those kind of shows, like, or movies or whatever, Jumper, stuff like that. Like, you know, in movies where you have the future you or the future character come and talk to the younger character. Mm-hmm. That's how it felt. Like, listening to like myself in those demos, it felt like a future me was rapping, and I'm listening like, this is how I'm gonna sound, but this is me and how I sound right now. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of everything. But when you was listening up the moments, and I know like we talked about before in the listening session, just in the interview, where you were like, you want to get into like more film and like create movies, and you had that situation. But I'm hearing all the things you've done and the people you work with. Are you filming any of this?
To my documenting any of this stuff?
Yeah, I think that'd be so dope to like see from like Pat Jr. the way I know you would edit it so well, and the people like, you know, other people in Raleigh like Cavassier and the Deep End and Lauren and all of them, like,
I'm not
seeing history.
I'm not great at self-documenting. However, because I don't care about I don't mind talking about my album, which I am working on. I am documenting that.
Okay.
So I'm being careful to document that for sure.
Okay.
So that is being documented, but I got to do better with the in-between stuff too, because those are some moments, man.
You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be so dope for us to like kind of just get a little glimpse. Maybe not, in post in real time, but like I said, the Kanye documentary. Yeah. What was that? Yeah, we got that years later.
He had somebody recording him for him. That was dedication right there.
Yeah,
bro.
You got well, and then what was it? Kofi? What was his name or something?
Oh man, I can't remember.
But he had like believed in Kanye so much, and that's why he did it. So it's like, I'm sure you could find the Wake Forest radio people. I don't know, maybe they can film it or something. But something to think about,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I gotta do a better job at self documentation, but I will.
I just think because it'd be so dope just to see.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's all.
And at one point, I didn't think people cared about, because I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, my homie Breezy, Brianna in Philly, she's like I call her like, she's a creative director, like guru, music marketing guru or whatever. She has a company called Taste Creators, and she's got a whole studio, but she guides a lot of artists on how to make their music like entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she was telling me like, nah, your fans care about seeing documentation of. I'm like, people care about behind the scenes, and she's like, do you care about certain artists that you enjoy behind the scenes? And I'm like, yeah, but that's what she was like, no, you're a fan, right? I'm like, yeah. She was like, yes.
Yeah.
So I have to do a better job with it. I will.
Because, there's one video that I watch maybe like twice a year.
Okay.
Always. It's Ryan Leslie when he makes that beat. Like, could you imagine we had some Pat Jr.?
I know what you're talking about.
It's like the moments. Imagine if he'd never filmed that. That's how you got to think about it, Pat.
That's a moment. That's like a viral moment right there.
It's so viral.
Yeah.
We need that from you.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. That was my last time mentioning it. Tam, I need you to put it in his ear too. Okay. I know she got my back. So, yeah. But
I got you.
Yes, Pat. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely.
We've talked so much in this month. I love it.
It's beautiful.
Yes, but let everybody know where they can follow you, get to know you more, get the merch. Let everybody know where they can just reach you out.
Okay, so everywhere on social media, it's I am Pat Jr. Make sure you spell Junior out. So IAMPATJUNIOR. I am Pat Jr. on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. And then my website is IamPatJr.com. So the merch will be there in November. I'm just excited about that. I'm really. I got some other cool stuff coming. In November. I'm not gonna give too much away.
Don't give. You said too much. Just keep it cool.
Coming,
keep it cool.
Yeah, website. Follow me on social media, and yeah, man, it's always dope talking to you. You're just a great person.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Thank
and this
you.
won't be our last time talking either. So
Absolutely. No, you already know. You already know.
Well, yes. Well, Pat Jr., thank you so much. And keep it locked to Kate 97.5.
Yeah.